Over the weekend, Donald Trump held his first indoor rally since the pandemic really hit hard. Now, this is not obviously the first rally that he has held since the pandemic, but this is the first indoor rally he has held, really since things have gone crazy. He did obviously have the one indoor rally a few months ago. That became a super spreader event. And according to a doctor who spoke to CNN this past weekend, Dr. Jonathan Reiner, what Trump did this past weekend by holding an indoor rally where photographs show most people were not wearing masks is he engaged in negligent homicide. That is what the doctor described it because, as the doctor said, you have all these people in close quarters during a pandemic. They are not socially distanced. They are not wearing masks. You know the dangers, and because the Woodward tape, we know you know the dangers. But you just said, to hell with it. I need to use you as my political pawn, so some of you may die, but that's a risk I'm willing to take, Trump says. And the doctor says this amounts to negligent homicide. He also described it as criminal endangerment, which that I think is probably an easier charge to stick if you did, eventually want to charge him with something. Criminal negligence here, or criminal endangerment, is absolutely the best way to describe this. Because that's what this is. And if you think me or the doctor here are being a little over the top with it, keep in mind, they're still making people sign waivers, COVID-19 waivers, to go into these rallies. So they know how bad it is. They know that there's a good chance you're going to walk into this event and walk out with a virus that you didn't want to catch. They know. They wouldn't make you sign these little pieces of paper if they didn't know. So that's what we're dealing with right now. And I agree. So here's what the doctor had to say. Quote, if you have a mass gathering now in the United States in a place like Nevada or just about any other place with hundreds of thousands of people, some of those people will die. There's been a lot of talk about over whether the president played down the risk of this virus to his followers and the country as a whole. And you have to just look at what is going on now to understand that. If you took this virus seriously, you would never hold an indoor rally or almost any rally now, and particularly one that doesn't enforce very strict rules on masks. People will die as a consequence of this. Everything the doctor just said right there is accurate. I trust his judgment because we can see the data. We've already seen data of what happens in these large mass gatherings where people aren't wearing masks. They go back home and they take the virus with them. They do become super spreader events. The motorcycle rally. People did die from that. And that's not okay. I don't care their political leanings. I don't care the political leanings of everybody at that rally. We know their political leanings. I don't want them to die. I don't want them to go out there and spread the virus to other people who are going to die. It shouldn't be happening. It's not worth it. Watching Donald Trump ramble on incoherently for an hour and a half, you don't need to catch a virus to do that. You could watch it on TV because the networks are still more than willing to give the man free airtime whenever he does a rally. Fox News is actually the only place that isn't airing all of them because they know how bad they make the president look. They didn't air this one, by the way, because they knew how crazy he looked. Maybe that's a clue. If even Fox News, the only network y'all watch, if even they're like, nah, we're not touching that one, maybe that's a sign that you shouldn't either. Because trust me, seeing Donald Trump ramble on for an hour or more is not worth dying or bringing home a virus and watching the people you love die. None of that is worth it. Trump wants you to think it is. But for the love of God, start thinking for yourself on this one.